Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Right on to the real, much love to these haters. It's time for the Lakers. It's time for the Lakers. Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Wednesday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we all know that the Los Angeles Lakers, well, since I left you last, the Los Angeles Lakers have played actually 2 games, and my apologies, but your boy has been traveling and, on the road and just having to take care of a lot of different business. And I do appreciate all you guys' positive prayers and vibrations, and hopefully that my son can endure. So word will be coming soon, and I will keep everybody abreast of that situation. So with all that being said, man, anyway, back to these Los Angeles Lakers. So it was 2 games, so we got a lot to catch up on. So I don't know where to start. I think I'm gonna just kind of go back and start on the first game that I think was Friday night. When LeBron James came back and was victorious against the San Antonio Spurs. Him and the Los Angeles Lakers were able to defeat the Spurs without the services of Anthony Davis, because Anthony Davis was a calf contusion or something he was nursing that I guess he had been dealing with, but nobody knew about. In other words, load management. So, LeBron James probably said, hey, I can go out here and take care of this myself with the help of my teammates, and that's what they were able to do. LeBron, if I'm not mistaken, had 39 points in that game. He looked real good coming back from the injury, from the strained abductor, groin, whatever you want to call it. He looked very well that night, and now you're in your head thinking, man, it's time for the Lakers to do this thing. Wait till Anthony Davis get back. If Anthony Davis keeps playing how he's playing, man, the world, everybody gonna be on notice. You understand what I'm saying? So I could not wait to see, okay, the Los Angeles Lakers in action against the Pacers, because, during that win streak, they had beat the San Antonio Spurs, who are not such a good team, currently. I mean, they're a formidable team, but even then in that game, they had injury, because I want to say Jakob Poeltl went down at some point during that game, and they were very much in that game until he went down, if my memory does serve me correctly, because NBA is all about matchups and runs, and, with Anthony Davis out, they didn't match up very well with Jakob. But the thing is, Thomas Bryant, he was looking okay, but eventually they did what they had to do to put the game away. So at the end of the day, the Lakers were looking good once again, playing the Indiana Pacers, and by now we all know that the Lakers blew a 17-point fourth quarter lead to the Indiana Pacers, and I get into just a moment exactly how they did that and why that was the case. And it was a combination of a lot of things, and I'm gonna lay the blame directly at all the people who I feel are that contributed to that loss. But at the end of the day, the Lakers were looking very well. If you look at because the Pacers are a good team, they probably finished 7th, 8th, in the playoffs in the East, or, something like that. They're not just like a title contender or anything like that, but they are a very formidable opponent, and they've been a big surprise to the NBA most of this year. They got young players that's playing really well, but at the end of the day, this is the team that the Los Angeles Lakers should have beat. The Pacers was on the second night of a back-to-back, coming off of playing. Were they playing? I think they were playing the Clippers, if I'm not mistaken. And, they had lost to the Clippers, and the Clippers were without Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and the Clippers managed to take care of business, although they was down at some point in that game, but they rallied back and was able to win that game. So that's the same thing that the Los Angeles Lakers should have done. But, I want to say this. I know Darvin Ham took a lot of responsibility, saying that it was his fault as far as, what happened in the fourth quarter, what transpired, and how they blew such a big lead. I do want to say this. LeBron James played 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. And for all of those who are basketball aficionados, y'all know that it's 12 minutes in the quarter. So LeBron James played the entire fourth quarter. So I'm trying to figure out why a 37-year-old in year 20 is playing the entire fourth quarter, especially when you had a lead, a 17-point lead. So at this point, why is he still playing the whole game and knowing that he injured his ankle? And that's what I was really worried about, because if you all watched the game, the Lakers came out on a 7-0 run, and that was pretty much a 7-0 LeBron James run. He came out, hit a couple of layup, boom, hit a 3, and then next thing you know, the Lakers were up by 7, all because of LeBron. Now, later in the game, LeBron landed on another player's foot. Can't remember who it was, but and got a high ankle sprain. And I could tell it was a high ankle sprain because of where he was grabbing it at. And that's not good for the Lakers. I'm telling you, the high ankle sprain are sprains that linger a lot longer and are a lot harder to heal, especially if you don't give it rest. And you could tell that LeBron James was in a lot of pain after that. He went and sat out. He grimaced for a while. He went back, walked the tunnel with his long-term trainer, looked at it. They had it stretched out on the bench, and of course he was able to come back. During the game, it's easy to come back. But after a day sets in, and you're not using that ankle, it's going to start to swell. So I'm just hoping that it's not as bad as it looked, because you can tell, I don't care what anybody else says, LeBron James, he only had 21 points for the game. He was on track to go off and get another 38 or 40, just like he did a couple of nights ago against San Antonio previous to that. But I'm telling you, after the ankle right there, the shot just wasn't falling. The 3 wasn't as crisp. The shot, because the pressure that you got to put on your ankle, and let's not mention he still had the sore foot. That's probably not completely healed. I wouldn't imagine that, that would feel that quickly, even though he did have almost 2 weeks off. But at the end of the day, no excuses for the Los Angeles Lakers. And I do want to lay a heavy blunt of that portion of that blame for that loss at the feet of LeBron James, because LeBron James really stagnated the offense for a good portion of the fourth quarter by maybe thinking that the lead was big enough to where he could just come down here and isolate. I want to say on 3 straight possessions, you had a LeBron James isolation to where he did not move the ball and get other players actively involved. And that is unacceptable, especially from LeBron James, knowing how great of a player he is to move the ball. But maybe he just thought that lead was too good. It doesn't matter. Hey, if I miss it, I miss it. We're going to come back down and do this and that. But at the end of the day, I still want to put the blame somewhat on Darvin Ham too, because Darvin Ham, let me tell you something, Darvin Ham made some key mistakes in the fourth quarter too, because for one, like I said, no way LeBron James should be playing a whole quarter at that age unless needed desperately, and they didn't if he was up by 17, but that's for one. And then for two, Pacers was going on a run. They went on 2 runs, like a 10-0 run, another 13-3 run. And at the end of the game, the Lakers still had 2 timeouts in their pocket. How the hell you still got 2 timeouts at the end of the game and team that came back down 17 on you? At what point were you going to call a timeout and stop the bleeding? At what point were you going to do that? That is what I need to know, because right now, Darvin Ham, I'm not questioning your coaching ability. I think you've done a much better job than Frank Vogel, and just my humble opinion. But what I do want to say is, what I would like to mention about him not calling those timeouts and leaving them in his pocket, it was one instance to where Anthony Davis was over at the scores table. And of course, he was getting ready to check in. And as he was getting ready to check in, he saw the run. They hit a 3. They hit another 3. Coming back on the 10-0 run, and Darvin Ham continued to let Anthony Davis stand there just waiting for the next dead ball, saying, oh, let me stop the bleeding. I can get Anthony Davis in here. And he had some questionable lineups in that fourth quarter because, Westbrook was having one of his best games as a Los Angeles Laker, and Westbrook has been playing very well as of late. So I think that, he should have left Westbrook in there longer. But then once he did bring Westbrook back, Westbrook went 3 possessions in a row in the 5-minute mark to help them get back in the game by having 2 turnovers and also, throwing up a missed 3 that was way off as well. So at the end of the day, everybody helped contribute to the loss. But, overall, I would say LeBron James stagnating the offense during that fourth quarter, trying to slow it down, kind of broke the momentum. But of course, Darvin Ham should have, and maybe LeBron James is slowing it down because, hell, the man is tired. He's 38 years old, or 37, however old he is. He is trying to get up and down the court against a team that plays very fast. The Indiana Pacers, they run. They run, missed possession, made possession. It doesn't matter. They run. And ultimately, what it boiled down to, I'll have to say, the main thing that hurt the Lakers in that fourth quarter was not getting back on defense in transition and letting the Indiana Pacers just walk into threes. Miles Turner even walked into 1-3. They lost him. Back down the court, you got to put a body on a body, even if it's a mismatch, until you get a chance to maybe switch. It just depends. That's the pressure that Indiana puts on you because they run back. So you got to match up quick. On one play, Russ and Dennis Schroeder ran to the same man and then left the other guy open. Left him wide open for the shot, and he stepped right into the three. Boom, that was 6 points right there within 30 seconds because Lakers missed. Boom, they came back down there, three just like that. 30 seconds, 6-0 run. You see what I'm saying? So Indiana was putting that together, and the really thing I think that motivate them, no knock on Russell Westbrook for this either, but the Lakers got to celebrating, which Westbrook was, he was putting people in the spin cycle, a wash cycle. He was looking like old Westbrook. He was finding people with the easy money, but it's a song, I think it's by Future. Y'all know I'm old, so what I'm saying, correct me if I'm wrong if it's not Future, but he got a little song to say, don't get too comfortable. Better not get too comfortable. You better not get too comfortable. And that's exactly what the Los Angeles Lakers did. They got too comfortable. And then at the end of the game, they got mixed up on the switch. They leave Miles Turner wide open top of the three. It was just at the top of the key for a three. It was just a little bit short. End up hitting off the front of the rim. We all know. And then, LeBron James, of course, he's protecting the paint. It's a scramble, but you would think with LeBron James has one of the best IQs is well known in the history of the game, that he has to put eyes on a body and try to get on somebody because the paint was already well covered, and they would have to make a hell of a play to even get the ball up from the rim. At the point where you're at, you're not necessarily going to be able to protect the rim. You should have been eyeing the perimeter, but that's easier said than done because in the heat of the moment and in the scramble, I cannot blame LeBron James because he still made a good effort in trying to close out on the shooter. Like he said, you got to tip your hat to him. He made the shot. The young rookie did his thing, but at the end of the day, if LeBron had been more aware of the perimeter players and knowing that they were looking for a three and was posting up, if he would have been out there, a body on a body, he maybe could even prevented that shot or even, got a better attempt at a block on that instead of just a run out because he said as soon as he released it, he knew it was in because he was able to cleanly step into it. So, the good thing about this is it's always another game in the NBA. It's not a long turnaround time. The Lakers play again tonight. And they will be playing Portland, who was on the second night of a back-to-back. And Portland actually lost a big lead. They did the same thing that the Lakers did the other night against Indiana. Because I had a chance to watch that game last night, and I saw that the Portland Trailblazers were up by like 19 points. As a matter of fact, I think I took Clippers plus 17, in the fourth quarter. And I was like, oh, yeah. I said, surely they won't lose by that. And lo and behold, they came back and won. I wish I would have bet more than $2. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, it wasn't very good odds. But anyway, at the end of the day, the Lakers have to go out and take care of business tonight. I think they will. If you look at the Jeremy Grant been playing like a beast too. I'm telling you what, that's somebody I wanted the Lakers to get last year when they was trying to make trades and make things happen. I was like, get Jeremy Grant. He always been a beast on the defensive end, always handled his business defensively, but now he's grown into a great offensive player as well, stretching the floor, even somewhat of a mid-range, I would say more of a post-up game. He just really got a lot of tools in his bag, and he's looking to get his first All-Star appearance this year. He's glad to be back, in Portland. I think his dad might have played in Portland, if I'm not mistaken. But at the end of the day, the Portland Trailblazers are a good team. They playing very well, even without Damian Lillard. And I would say that without Damian Lillard, that the Trailblazers still have been playing that well, but they still should not be able to beat the likes of the Los Angeles Lakers. There's no way that the Lakers should, especially after the Lakers should have a real foul taste in their mouth from the game, that they just played against the Pacers and gave up that big lead. But guess what? guess what? Portland did the same thing. So both of them have a foul taste in their mouth because they gave up big leads to another team. So it's going to be a lot about X's and O's tonight, and not necessarily about X's and O's, but I'll say a lot about effort tonight, because the team that I think is going to show up with the most effort is going to win the game. And Anthony Davis, you were playing like a beast without LeBron James. I do not want to see LeBron James come back and you lose beast mode. Now, of course, teams have been double teaming you and doing other things of that nature, but come on now. There's no way that you shouldn't go out and be aggressive. And LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers have got to figure out a way to get Anthony Davis more shot attempts, because 2 shot attempts in the fourth quarter is unacceptable, especially when you see other teams coming back in the game. And if you see the team is starting to work their way back in, you should be able to get that ball down on the block to your big man. And if they come on a double team from whichever way, then you have to make them pay for it and swing that ball around until you get you an open shot that you can knock down. Because now you're getting your other players out of rhythm by stagnating the offense with all these isolation plays, and that is unacceptable. That falls on the coaches, that falls on LeBron James, that falls on Anthony Davis. So I expect to see the Lakers get a victory tonight, turn it around. It's still a lot of basketball left, 7-11, 7-12, whatever it is. You saw the Warriors go down last night. I think they 10-10. Like, everybody from seed 3 all the way down to 10 or 11 has 11 losses. So just keep all of that in mind, and the Lakers just going to keep on fighting and just going to keep on pushing. So, this has been your boy B New. I just want to say, if you haven't done so already, you know what to do. Hit that bell, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share. And I most definitely appreciate it. And as always, man, right on to the real, and much love to these haters.